Hello, it's Burgess Taylor, and it is the beginning of week 2 for NaNoWriMo. And you know what week 2 is? It's the beginning of what Chris Beatty calls the storms. He says to prepare yourself. He even talks about in his book, No Plot, No Problem. He says cue the thunder, the lightning, the big time writerly grumpiness. There's a warning that you might want to start over. That there comes a time and a point where everybody sort of sees their novel as a lost cause. You start thinking about how your characters might be one-dimensional, and you start thinking, well, maybe I should just start over. Maybe I should start a new project. You could do that. I mean, you could do that. But if you think about the story that you've already started, you've put a week's worth of effort into, and most likely you've gotten a lot written, because the first week is that get crazy, write a lot, people like dive in head first during the first week. There's something about that story that sparked your interest to begin with. There's something about that story that made you want to write it. So in your darkest hour, in that moment when you think, I'm just gonna chunk it, I'm just gonna start over, I'm gonna do a whole new story, focus on what you liked about the story, what made you want to write it, the strengths of that story. That's what Mr. Beatty suggests, and that's pretty much what I'm gonna suggest. I have been the person who's switched midstream. I have been the person who's kept chugging along, and you know, they're both I used the word count that I did when I switched. I used the word count for both stories, but to tell you the truth, it was hit or miss. The story that I started was a really good story, but I got grumpy. I got overwhelmed. I got stressed out. I hit that slump where, okay, you've been spending all this time writing, and self-doubt and the fear went and swarmed down on me. So what I'm going to suggest is that you look at your novel in a different way. That you think about all those things that made you want to write that story to begin with. The answers to those questions of what are the strengths of your novel, what did you like about it in the beginning, that'll come back to you. It will. I'm going to read an excerpt from the book, Avoiding the Demon Plague of Self-Editing. The best trick I've learned is to lie to myself. When, in Chapter 7, I write something that contradicts something written earlier, I tell myself that I already made the necessary corrections in Chapter 3. I just tell myself that the earlier parts are the way I need them to be for me to write something that day, which builds on them. Imagine the pages you have written to be an axe-wielding maniac, hell-bent on massacring your creative flow. Get away from those pages as quickly as possible. Don't worry how awkwardly or clumsily you do so. The very life of your book is at stake. As soon as you look back over previous pages, the doom will be upon you. I write parts of my novels as emails. I simply open up Outlook or Yahoo or whatever, address it to myself, and just start writing. Something about the rhetorical situation of email writing keeps my internal censor and editor quiet, or quieter at least. But the best tip is where he talks about don't get it right, get it written. When asked for the most important piece of first draft writing insight she's ever received, Edgar Award-winning mystery writer Julie Smith quoted some advice from the newspaper days. Don't get it right, Smith, a gruff editor had told her. Get it written. That advice looms large over week 2, and it is something to keep in mind as you decide what to do with all those characters that have taken up residency in your book. The variety of directions a book can take are a little daunting. Do you kill someone off? Burn down a house? Bring a character in space via intergalactic wormhole? In deciding what should happen next in your book, know that all plot points lead to the same happy place, getting a complete draft of your novel done. You aren't shooting for perfection here. You're just exploring the outer reaches of your imagination and building a book one day at a time. Don't worry about getting it right this week. That will come in the revisions. This week, your goal is just to get it written. So on that note, I mean, there are other things that he gives. The advice that he talks about, there are some exercises, inciting plot flashes, using email to make free backups of your novel. I do that sometimes. I do that probably once a week. He goes over some of that. And over the past week, I have watched videos and read a few blog posts about people giving up already. I was one of those people who shit, the day before NaNoWriMo, I was not even good. I was like, screw it, I just won't start, because there were so many things going wrong. There were a couple of days in that first week of Nano where I thought about just calling it a day. Power went out for 3 hours. I hand wrote my novel during that period of time. I read some. But you know what? I've gotten a lot done during the different periods where I take a break from my writing, because I'm at that place where I'm thinking, what am I doing? What am I doing? Where am I going with the novel? Oh, the characters. Oh, the characters. They're not listening. They're doing their own thing. So part of my outline just kind of went out of the window, and part of it stayed. And then I realized as I got through that next part that I was writing, where the outline, the character had said, screw your outline, I'm going to kind of do my own thing, that it was actually part of it. It just was a different part. So the character got a little ahead of me, but it played out in the end. It worked out towards what I wanted it to work out. And you know what? I haven't entered nearly as much of my novel into Scrivener as I need to. I'm behind on that. I'm doing the writing. I did end up using the little black book. I have quite a bit of it in Scrivener. I'm going to work on that. It's just been a crazy, Nano already for me, but week 2 is going to be better. So for those of you who are looking for a little bit of inspiration, Chris Beatty has a video on YouTube where he talks about NaNoWriMo. There's also the book, No Plot, No Problem, which is a great book for getting through NaNoWriMo. I have the older version. I do not have the revised version, but it's a great little book. Another great book to think about reading is Stephen King's On Writing. The first half is more of his biography. The second half of the book is actually writing advice. And as you can see, I'm in the middle of kind of sorting through some things. Thursday, my husband is off, and we will be rearranging things in here. So I need to get cleaning too. I need to do that. I'm supposed to have coffee with my daughter today, and it's kind of yucky outside, and I'm not feeling very good. I have fibromyalgia and arthritis, and the weather's kind of cold and wet, and it's election day. So I need to go. I gotta go vote, and I'm supposed to meet my daughter for coffee. I hope y'all have a good one. Don't let week 2, don't let the storm and the slump hold you back. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't quit. Even if you found yourself to be at a place where the basically 1,700 words a day is not cutting it for you, it doesn't matter whether you hit 50,000 or not. If you are writing your novel and you're doing the best that you can, that's what matters, is getting the words on the page. NaNoWriMo isn't really so much about the 50K as it is making writing a habit. It's writing every day, or writing Monday through Friday, or writing on the weekends. It's fitting writing into your time and making that writing a habit, getting those words on the page. The fun part about NaNoWriMo is the community, and that you're not alone in the struggle, because when you're writing outside of NaNoWriMo, you're alone in that struggle. We have a writing community on YouTube. There are a couple of different ones, I think. Support and the camaraderie is that's what makes NaNoWriMo so much fun, is that you know you're not alone, and during the rest of the year you're pretty much alone in it. You don't have to be, though. You don't have to be. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. I'll see you again soon. Bye.